this is a good little video. We are not at home. We're in North Portland, and we got a phone call early this morning from the Portland Police Department, and they found our stolen Camry, the pride of the fleet, the one and only, the '98 Camry. It was stolen from my son's apartment complex up in northeast Portland. So at least it started, so that was nice. It's really low on gas, so I brought a can of gas to fill it up. It does have one little boo-boo on the rear bumper, which is not too bad. It, for some reason, I don't know if they were trying to break in there, but they snapped that thing off. Then they broke the passenger side window. Yeah, it's not too pretty. And it doesn't smell very good either. But at least the door's open, so that's good. There's a can of gas. I don't know if it's full or not. Yep, it's full. That'll be nice driving home with. Trunk. I don't know if those are like speakers. Subwoofers. Bike tires. Lord knows what else is in there. Only thing I'm hoping is still in there is the chains from Les Schwab. Those are good ones. Man, that's bizarre. I guess they use that for when they rob banks or something. Good Lord. So this is what a car looks like after it gets stolen and then used or lived in for a month. We'll take it home and see if we can clean it up. Maybe bump that out a little bit. Try to make it drivable again. So we have the Camry at home, put it in the garage, and we're gonna open it up. We're gonna take everything out, which there's a lot of junk in there. We have, I don't know if I've seen him yet. My boy Justin is here with me, and he says he saw some needles. I'm sure there are. Orange. Well, there's at least one.
Well, there's tons of them.
Looks like a $100 bill. Saw some more money down there. Yeah, it's just garbage. It's sort of like you're looking into the life of a homeless drug addict, and this is how they lived. So we're gonna pull everything out. Sort of be careful, make sure we don't get pricked by a needle. But I'm sure there's some nasty things in here. Guess we'll start with the back seat. I think we'll just lay him on the floor for now, just. That's just a jacket. T-shirt. Yeah, everything they own is in this car. Shirt. Can't tell for sure if it's a girl or a guy or girl or both, but I can't picture two people living in this. Just a bunch of tools, break-in tools.
Yes.
Could be.
Also looks like just screwdrivers.
Something else I noticed was they jammed that thing up pretty good with a screwdriver. Replace that.
Installing multiple times.
Just a piece of flat bar. Oh man.
Yeah, you changed.
For the Camry? Let me see. Turn it around the other way. Camry, I'll be. They didn't sell them. In fact, that was probably the most valuable thing in the car was the Les Schwab tire chains. Hot Shot Cody McGuire tire shine?
No idea.
I don't think they used that. Those are tire ramps.
Yeah, but
Got two of them? Is that for jacking the cars up to cut the catalytic converters off? So why would you have tire ramps
No,
and a cutoff wheel, unless you're cutting off catalytic converters? I like the ramps. I can use those. Frying pan for heating up stuff that, I don't know, you
Or
smoke
cooking.
or inject, or maybe just they're cooking. I don't know if that's the stereo that was in there, because I don't recall that one that's in there.
Braden said it's a new one.
They put in a new stereo in the car?
He upgraded. He had a cassette player. But now he has a CD player.
That's hilarious. That's probably the old one?
Maybe.
That's so funny. Gosh, they upgraded the stereo. More tools of the trade.
Yeah,
they were active.
Yeah, those are.
Relays.
Or, if they trip a kill switch, maybe they can swap.
Maybe. And a lighter. That's a cutoff wheel.
Wow.
For getting the catalytic converters off, I would guess.
Yeah.
Man, that's a Hilti too. That's a good brand. Top dollar. Well, it's day 2 of the Camry recovery video. Justin and I were able to get the car, well, not cleaned out, but emptied out. We got all the stuff pulled out of it that we could find. I started cleaning out the door panel, get the new glass in. I actually have a replacement door glass for this passenger side window. I demoed it from, or salvaged it from an old door that we pulled off the car. It was wrecked before, and the door was damaged, but the glass was still good. So for whatever reason, I saved it, and I now get to put it back in. So that's pretty cool. The car is just, boy, I'm not too sure what to do with the inside. I think I'll take it to a professional detail shop, have them clean it, fumigate it, because it stinks. It does not smell good. And I'm sure that stuff there is probably drug residue. It's just nasty. The switched license plates, those are not our plates. And it's sort of weird. Why would you steal plates, then have expired tags on it if you didn't want people to know you stole the car? Not the brightest individuals in the world. But yeah, the trunk is cleaned out. They threw away the spare, which was a bummer, and the carpet and the little masonite cover that went over the spare. Either they hit something or somebody hit them. But I'll pop this corner off, put a heat gun to it, see if I can't at least pop it out. It's chipped the paint, so it's, you know, it's not a primo car anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. You know, it's just, and then the steering wheel, I don't know if they fell asleep with their torch on or what they were doing, but they burnt the edge of the steering wheel. Yeah, it's not quite there yet. It needs a little bit of work, but it starts and it runs. Figured I'd show you what we pulled out of it. And man, there's a lot of stuff in there. 30-foot steel cable, a bucket of jumper cables, tire iron, just different miscellaneous tools. More miscellaneous tools, sockets, screwdrivers, saws, tire ramps. Yeah, those were in there. I guess though, when they steal the car, they can drive it up on the ramps, make it a little easier to work on when they cut the catalytic converter off. I don't know. Just an assortment of tools like you can't believe. Little screwdriver. You need a tip. A lot of tips. A little chargeable light. Not sure why. Maybe I could see the blaster for maybe lubing up when they cut. A bag of fuses and relays. Some parachute cord. A couple little speakers. Zip ties, little X-Acto kit, Sawzall blades, a nice DeWalt cordless Sawzall, fully charged. Of course, you need a couple batteries, and they're nice batteries too. That's a 6 amp, and that one's a 5, and the one that's on it is a 5. Got I guess a sewing machine thing. Got a Hilti cutoff wheel. Everybody needs a slingshot and a gas mask and a scary face mask. Another bag of tools. Amazing amount of tools. You name it, that was in it. It's crazy. A little jump starter booster pack for supplying power and for starting cars. A little neck massager, a spotting scope, a rangefinder. There must have been well over 100 keys in the car. Not all of them with the fobs, just random keys on key holders, neck, lanyards, just tons and tons of keys. I guess for the nights when he'd go out to try to be a ladies' man, he had an assortment of colognes and a little trim haircut kit, a little bling, a couple, looks like ladies' watches. And yes, there was a little bit of, well, we didn't find any drugs. We just found the drug paraphernalia. I'm guessing they must pack the drugs with them at all times. It's funny, they had an Oregon State lighter and an Oregon Ducks blanket, so they sort of supported both schools. Got 14 needles, got a little igniter there, got a little torch there, scale with, I'm guessing, residue, pill box, laundry list, $100 bill that was torn in half, a 20 torn in half, a 20 that wasn't torn in half, a lock, that's like a first aid kit, another rolling tool bag with a bunch of sockets in it, the clothes, and backpacks. Probably half a dozen backpacks, a bunch of hoodies, a bunch of shirts, a bunch of pants, 2 pairs of shoes, 3 or 4 baseball caps, just 2 bags of just garbage, just literally garbage that was just thrown in there, hefty bags. And of course a bottle of Purex laundry detergent, I guess whenever they did do the laundry. 4 laptops, 3 cell phones, sleeping bag, pillow, blanket, tent, hammock, a really big speaker, a small speaker, an inverter, a 6-way, an amp, a North Face really nice backpack type all-purpose bag, skateboard, and a bike. Yeah, all that was in this car. Clothes I'll throw away. Any of the drug stuff, obviously, we're going to get rid of. The tools, what do you do with tools? I have all the tools I need. My boys don't really need them. I'm not even sure we want them. They're all stolen, I'm sure. On the laptops, they're all tagged as property of Portland Public Schools. So we did make a call to them, left a message, see if they want them. Cell phones are probably garbage. They'll just be thrown away. I don't know what you do with junk that you find in a car. It was sort of weird pulling all this stuff out, knowing that we just put this guy out of business for at least a week until he goes out and steals everything else he needs again and starts all over. But we'll continue with the cleanup. It'd be nice to know what the heck to do with all this stuff. Maybe give me a couple ideas. It would be helpful. But yeah, the car needs a little more love. A little update on the Camry. Got the door glass in. Wasn't too bad. And it goes up and down, so that's a bonus. Still gotta sort of have clean the inside, vacuum it out. We'll worry about that on another day. Move back to the bumper. and I didn't film it, but it actually popped out pretty nice. It had some original Bondo on it, which that cracked when they hit it, so there's not much I can do about that. But the bumper, it just bolts in. It's got 3 bolts there, a couple little plastic rivets there. So I was able to get the heat gun in behind it, heated up the inside of the dent, heated up the outside of the dent, and just pushed on it real lightly, and it popped out. So that was nice. We'll just keep moving on, trying to get it back to somewhat original. Wait for the next update. Decided I'd pull all the seats out, make it easier to get the carpet cleaned, and hopefully get that odor out. Borrowed this for my sister. It's the Bissell Spot Bot 4000, and it's guaranteed to clean it all up. We'll see. See how well it does on that. That's old stuff. I don't think that was done by the guys that stole it. But overall, it don't look too bad. I vacuumed it all out. Got the most of the super glue off the dash. Man, if anybody knows why they use super glue, I know they probably smell it or huff it or do whatever they do with it, but why do they smear it all over the door and the dash and the seats and everywhere else they had it? But I got all that stuff off. Door panels are cleaned up. Used simple green on most everything, and then went back over there with I wiped it all down with a disinfectant wipes. But I'll go ahead and use that shampooer and show you how well that did. Got this tire fixed, took it down to Schwab. That's one of the 4 snow tires we're going to put on it. So I threw the 1 snow tire and got the new tire in the trunk. Got a little project on this thing here. This is the center console where the emergency brake goes right here. And they ripped out the rubber boot that went around it. I don't know why. But then there's a big gaping hole there. So I ripped out the rest of it. And of all the 57 bags that this guy had in the car, one of them had a nice leather bottom on it. So I went ahead and cut the bottom out. And I'll glue that in, and hopefully that'll work for a replacement. We'll see. This car was not cherry by any means before we got it stolen. So it'll be nice just to get it clean and operating and on the road again, so we can put a few more years on it. Well, I finished using the carpet cleaner. I mean, it's not spotless. There's still some old grime in the corners there, but there's a bunch of staining on that little hump there, and that pretty much all came out. Overall, I think it did a pretty decent job. Used it on the chairs. That's the passenger. Turned out pretty good. So what I think I'll do now is go ahead and throw the chairs back in. This is the driver's side. This one was beat up pretty bad. Got a lot of burn marks on it. But overall, we can always put a seat cover over it. Back seat, it came out pretty decent. Almost looks new. So I'll put them all back in, and then I'm going to throw this thing in it. It just showed up. Ordered it on Amazon a few days ago. It's called a Ozone generator. It's about 70 bucks. Did some research online, seeing what you could do to eliminate cigarette odors in a car, and this thing kept popping up. People were saying they worked pretty good. Powerful odor eliminator and deodorizer. Eliminates virtually any malodors from mold, cigarette, cigar smoke, so on and so on. We'll see. We'll give it a try. We'll set it up, and I'll bring you back when I have it all ready. So the seats are back in. All the little doors and compartments I've opened up. Hopefully that stuff will get inside to those areas. I left the back seat loose. Might help get into some of the crevices that are tight to get to. So I'm going to set this thing up. A lot of good reviews on it, but I've never used one, so we'll find out on this one. Ooh. Do not enter ozone sanitation process. Got a little separate cord to plug in. Got a timer in minutes, so you can go up to 3 hours, it looks like, at a time. So I'll set this up and turn it on. So I just set it up in the middle on top of the console, plugged in the cord, pinched it in the door coming out the back here, plug it in the wall over here. And there should be a light on it. And there is. So we'll give it 3 hours. We'll see what it does. If you're wondering where the car went, I ended up pulling it out of the garage. It does give off an odor. Even with the car closed up, you could still smell it. And when I opened up the doors just to get in it, a big old sort of a cloud of probably ozone was in the car. So I had to let it air out a little bit. Got it outside. I'll let it finish its 3 hours and we'll come back and check it out. Well, I was gonna open it up and try to air it outside, but it's a little miserable out today. Windy, rainy. Didn't really want to do that. So I brought it up into the shop and opened up the doors. It's got a bit of an odor. Whatever that ozone gas is, it's they're pretty accurate. It's not good for you. It does not smell good. So I'm gonna air it out. I've got a fan here. I'm gonna blow on it for an hour or two. See if I can get rid of that odor. And the real test will be the wife doing it. She's got a sniffer. I swear she can smell a mouse fart from 100 yards. So she'll stick her nose in here and she'll either give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. So we will come back in a while. So I had the wife come out this morning. She sat in it, closed the door on her, gave her a professional sniffer the job of seeing if it could detect any odors, cigarette or ozone or anything else. And she said she could not smell anything. So that's a win. I'm gonna say we're good on the inside. This is about as much as I can do. Give it back to the boy. Hopefully it doesn't get stolen again. Don't really want to do all this again. I do have this little patch I'm gonna fix. I'm just gonna glue this little trim piece on that they ripped off. And I made up a little pattern of a piece of metal. It's, I don't know if you can see that or not. It's an 1/8 inch thick. It's got aluminum on the outside, on the inside, or both outsides, and then plastic in between. It's a real good, durable piece of metal. Put a little bow in it to match the profile of the car. And a little bit of caulking, a little bit of black paint, and that'll look fine. On the inside, I think I'm just gonna clean that up, mask it off, and just spray paint it flat black. And I think it'll look fine on the inside. Can't really bend the metal enough to get it to match that profile, so we'll make do on it. So that is gonna pretty much finish up this little project. I was very happy with the ozone generator. Might do a little separate video on that thing just to explain how it worked. But I think that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, go ahead and click the like button. Share it with some of your friends. Make a comment or two if you have one. And I'll see you on the next one.